The sky is not silent right now. Above us, 7 comets are racing together through a narrow window of time, something so rare, so concentrated, that astronomers are calling it one of the tightest convergences ever observed. Normally, we might witness 1 comet in a year, 2 if fortune allows. But this season, 7 streaks of fire are pressing into the inner solar system, all while a solar eclipse cuts its shadow across the Earth. This is not ordinary. This is not coincidence. This is a convergence. And it carries weight. Not just in the language of astronomy, but in the language of the soul. Because eclipses already demand attention, they pause the light itself. But when 7 comets arrive in the same breath of time, the universe feels like it's speaking in bold letters, underlined, 7 times over. The message is not quiet. The message is urgent. 1 comet in particular is drawing closer than most dare to imagine. Astronomers assure us it will pass safely, yet the timing makes it impossible to ignore. It arrives just after the eclipse, almost as though the heavens themselves wanted to remind us, shadows fall, but they do not last. And then, light comes racing back, burning brighter than before. Spiritually, it feels less like science and more like a clock striking midnight. The kind of moment where hesitation is dangerous and action becomes everything. Think about how comets behave. They never linger. They blaze. They ignite. They streak across the night sky and then vanish, leaving only trails of dust to remind us they were here. That is exactly how opportunities work in life. They do not wait for our convenience. They do not return on our timetable. They blaze once, and if you hesitate, they are gone. This is what makes the timing so uncanny. The eclipse brings shadow. The comet follows, carrying light. Together they whisper, "Do not waste time. Do not delay." And then there is the number itself, 7. Across history and spiritual traditions, 7 has always carried meaning. 7 is completion. 7 is cycles ending and new ones beginning. 7 is the closing of a book and the turning of a page. So when 7 comets appear alongside an eclipse, the message is unmistakable: something is ending, and something else is about to begin. Many of you already feel it. Endings appearing suddenly. Relationships dissolving without warning. Plans shifting. Old patterns breaking apart. It may feel uncomfortable. It may feel like loss. But this isn't punishment. This isn't chaos. This is clearing. The universe sweeping away what no longer belongs, so that space can be prepared for what comes next. And make no mistake, once the shadow lifts, the next chapter won't wait. It will arrive instantly. Each comet tells its own story, but together they weave a symphony. The first slipped quietly into the sky back in late July, moving unseen by most, yet already redirecting energy. Choices that felt settled suddenly came back up for review. Then, as September deepened, another comet pressed urgency into the air. Invisible clocks began ticking. Suddenly, decisions felt heavier, deadlines unavoidable, conversations filled with now or never wait. Right after the eclipse, another comet arrives, not loud, not explosive, but subtle. Its work happens in whispers. A phrase spoken by a stranger, a fleeting story in the news, an almost overlooked detail that changes everything. That's how this season works, not just grand events, but small turning points stacked one after another until the pattern becomes undeniable. By October, momentum builds. Another comet sweeps past, and life itself accelerates. The days stack faster, demands grow louder, and movement refuses to slow. It doesn't matter whether you feel ready. This is not a polite season. This is ignition. And then, disruption. A comet that doesn't belong here shows up, cutting across the pattern like an unexpected guest. It could arrive as new opportunities, strange events, surprising encounters, or revelations you never saw coming. The energy is foreign, but it demands attention. November brings brightness, a comet shining far more brilliantly than predicted. Unlike the subtle influences before it, this one cannot be hidden. It will be visible to anyone willing to lift their eyes to the sky. And that visibility is symbolic. What has been private suddenly becomes public. Secrets rise. Truths are revealed. What could once be ignored will now be undeniable. Finally, in December, the last comet closes the cycle, not with fireworks, but with finality. Loose ends tied. Doors closed. Stories completed. It is the universe placing the period at the end of a sentence that has taken all year to write. This is why these comets matter. They are not just streaks of ice and dust. They are markers. They are mirrors. They are reminders that cycles do not last forever. Comets appear, blaze, and vanish. Just like opportunities. Just like seasons in our own lives. And if you are paying attention, they can show you exactly what is ending and what is beginning for you right now. You have a choice. You can see this season as chaos, as doom, as something to fear. Or you can see it as destiny. As alignment. As an invitation from the universe itself. The same sky, the same events, but two completely different realities. Which one will you choose? Because years from now, when you look back, you won't remember this as the season you trembled under omens. You'll remember it as the season the heavens spoke louder than ever before, and you listened. If you are still here, thank you for sharing your time and attention. If this message resonates, consider subscribing, sharing your reflections in the comments, and helping spread the light of awareness. Until next time, look up, stay awake, and remember, the universe is speaking, right now.